I walked through the hallway of the old factory I planned to explore, my flashlight piercing through the darkness, uncovering secrets hidden for years with every step. The smell of damp and rot surrounded me, but the lure of the unknown propelled me forward, deeper into the abandoned factory on the outskirts of a town swallowed by nature's reclaiming grasp. Urban exploring wasn't just a hobby, it was a calling, unearthing stories layered in dust and lost in time. The graffiti that dresses the walls speaks of artists who once claimed the space as a canvas for their expressions. But among the swirling patterns and vivid images, I found something more, something deliberate and ominous. I discovered it in a hidden room, an eerie mosaic of symbols, cryptic letters converging in a spiraling pattern, leading my eyes to a central phrase. The silent key unleashes the whispering shadow. My heart pounded in my chest as I deciphered it, the words echoing in my mind, pulsating with a resonance that vibrated in the silent air. A riddle dressed in mystery, an invitation or a warning. It wasn't clear. Armed with a picture of the mysterious message, I dived deep into the sea of cyberspace, searching for any thread that could help unravel the meaning behind the cryptic words. Days turned into weeks, and slowly but surely, pieces of a puzzle started to form. Historical records of the town spoke of an ancient artifact, a key lost through generations, linked to rumors of a treasure or perhaps a secret society that once controlled the town from the shadows. The online forums buzzed with speculations and theories, the cryptic message igniting a fervent energy among fellow urban explorers. I found myself at the helm of a network of seekers, bound by curiosity and the thrill of the chase. Each person brought a piece to the table. Some found old maps, others deciphered portions of the message, and some embarked on expeditions into the unknown corners of the town, hunting for clues that would bring us closer to the truth. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source, a local historian who reached out with a tale of a key crafted from an unusual alloy, silent to the touch, and rumored to unlock the secrets hidden in the depth of the old factory. With the artifact in my hands, I couldn't shake off the feeling that we were onto something monumental, something that bridged the realms of reality and legend. The key was cold, its surface covered in patterns that mirrored the cryptic message on the wall. Equipped with the key and accompanied by a small group of brave souls, I returned to the belly of the factory, guided by intuition and the map we had created from our collective research. The building seemed to breathe, alive with anticipation as we ventured deeper into its bowels. Every step echoed with whispers of stories buried in time, as if the very walls were urging us to unlock the secrets they guarded. Behind a concealed door, we found a chamber, the walls covered in intricate designs that narrated tales of an ancient civilization, possibly the founders of the town, shrouded in mystery and adorned with hidden knowledge. The chamber pulsed with a presence, an energy that vibrated with the secrets it held. At the center stood a pedestal with a matching slot for the silent key. I inserted it, and as I turned it, a hushed wave of whispers erupted, a symphony of voices speaking in a language lost to time, yet somehow understood in the core of our beings. From the shadows, a figure emerged, a being of whispers and tales, a guardian of secrets, weaving narratives of times long gone, revealing the truths hidden behind the myths and legends that surrounded the town. The whispering shadow spoke in riddles and poetic phrases, revealing a history soaked in mystery and intrigue, a society that thrived on knowledge and exploration, a culture rich in art and philosophy, hidden away from the world, protected by the secrets held within the cryptic message and the silent key. As the whispering shadow shared its tales, we felt a profound connection to the land and its history, an understanding that we were now the guardians of this ancient knowledge, entrusted with protecting and preserving the secrets revealed to us. We vowed to honor the legacy of the whispering shadow, to nurture the spirit of exploration, and to foster a community built on the foundation of knowledge and the respect for the mysteries of the world. We emerged from the depths of the factory, a pact sealed with the whispering shadow, a secret society reborn from the ashes of history, ready to explore the unknown corners of the world, guided by curiosity and the whispers of the shadow.
In the deep recesses of my heart, I've always had a macabre fascination for the abandoned and forgotten. Buildings that once thrived with life now sat as decrepit husks, each carrying their own stories of time long past. It was during one such exploration, in a sleepy town known as Mayfair, that I stumbled upon a forgotten piece of history, the Rookwood Estate. It was an eerie, grand Victorian mansion, rumored to be cursed. The Rookwood was formidable. Vines entangled its stony face, windows were dusty but intact, staring out like hollow eyes. The grand entryway, once elegant, was now overpowered by a pervasive sense of decay. The air tasted stale, heavy with secrets from another era. I inhaled deeply, steadying my nerves as I crossed the threshold. My footsteps echoed in the immense foyer. A grand staircase spiraled upwards, leading to shadowy hallways. As I stepped further, my flashlight's beam bounced off cracked mirrors and faded portraits, revealing faces frozen in time. Suddenly, a dull thud echoed from upstairs. I froze, but rationalized it as the building's old age. I proceeded towards the sound, up the staircase, its wood groaning beneath me. Upon reaching the landing, I found myself in front of a heavy oak door, slightly ajar. A cold draft rushed past, ruffling my hair. I pushed the door, wincing at its mournful creak. It was a child's bedroom, complete with a canopy bed, a rocking horse, and shelves full of aging dolls. A large painting hung above the fireplace, a family portrait of a couple with a young girl. The girl's striking emerald eyes bore into me, exuding an eerie intelligence. The same dull thud sounded again, from a dollhouse in the corner. I approached the dollhouse. It was an intricate miniature of the Rookwood itself. In the flickering flashlight, I saw a doll, identical to the girl in the portrait, lying on its side. As I reached out to right the doll, a chilling giggle echoed through the room. The temperature dropped, and I felt an icy finger trace down my spine. Suddenly, the doll sat up on its own. Its tiny ceramic hand rose, and with a little finger it pointed towards the canopy bed. I turned to look, and my blood froze. Lying on the bed was a spectral figure of a little girl, her eyes glowing a haunting green. She sat up, her gaze never leaving mine, and then, in a voice colder than the grave, she whispered, "Play with me." Every fiber of my being screamed to flee, but my feet wouldn't obey. Paralyzed with fear, I could only watch as she climbed down and walked towards me, her spectral form flickering like a faulty film reel. She stopped right in front of me, reaching out her tiny hand towards the doll. I picked it up and handed it to her. Her chilling laughter echoed around the room as she danced with the doll, twirling around in a spectral waltz. And then, as abruptly as it started, it ended. She stopped dancing, her form fading until all that remained were her piercing green eyes. And then, they too disappeared, plunging the room into darkness. My flashlight flickered back to life, casting an uncanny glow around the room. But the spectral child was nowhere to be seen. All that remained was an intense cold and the silent, eerie dollhouse. The doll lay exactly where I had left it, its painted eyes staring into the abyss. I scrambled out of the room, down the staircase and out of the mansion, gasping for fresh air as I emerged from the forsaken structure. The estate stood silent and menacing, a haunted monument of forgotten lives. My fascination for the abandoned had brought me face to face with a spectral piece of the past. Now I lay awake at night, haunted by glowing emerald eyes and a spectral giggle that echoes in my ears. The exploration of abandoned buildings has taken on a new meaning, forever marked by my encounter in the Rookwood Estate. My fascination has turned into fear, my curiosity into caution. Because now I know that some buildings aren't just abandoned, they're haunted by echoes of lives lived and lost, forever yearning for company in their eternal solitude.
We were a tight-knit group of explorers, treading where many feared to venture. Our hunger for mystery and the unexplored led us to the decaying gates of an abandoned theme park tucked away in the arms of a forgotten forest. I remember feeling a twinge of unease as we pushed open the rusted gate, its screech echoing in the still air, announcing our arrival to the silent witnesses of the park's forgotten joy. My friends Jake, Lisa, and Peter were with me, all of us driven by a relentless curiosity and a penchant for adrenaline. A twisted carousel greeted us, horses frozen mid-gallop, the paint peeling off their frames, revealing grotesque skeletal figures underneath. Our footsteps echoed eerily as we ventured deeper, cameras in hand to capture the morbid beauty of the decay. Lisa's laughter bubbled up now and then, a beacon of light in the swallowing darkness, yet it seemed to bounce off the silent rides and food stalls, returning to us with a sinister undertone. The deeper we ventured, the more the park revealed its decayed innards, a grotesque playground caught in the throes of time, where joy had soured into despair. It was then that we stumbled upon the shantytown, a congregation of makeshift shelters fashioned from the remnants of the park, a leviathan rising from the skeletal remains of joyous rides. Our breath caught in our throats as we realized we were not alone. Faces peered out from the darkness of the shelters, eyes catching the light in a terrifying display of hunger and desperation. Peter urged caution as we slowly retreated, but the inhabitants of the shantytown had seen fresh prey, and they surged forward, a tide of desperation and hunger. We turned and ran, our breaths coming in ragged gasps as we hurtled through the decayed landscape, the horrifying inhabitants on our heels. I remember feeling an icy hand clasp around my ankle, pulling me down. The ground met me with a cruel embrace, pain shooting up my spine. My cries echoed in the empty air as my friends pulled me up, dragging me with a desperate urgency that spoke of life and death hanging in a precarious balance. It was a nightmarish chase, through tunnels of horror houses where grotesque figures once thrilled visitors, now a sinister backdrop to our desperate flight for survival. The Ferris wheel's towering form greeted us, a beacon in our flight. Without a second thought, we climbed, the metal groaning under our weight, higher and higher, while below the deranged inhabitants gathered, their howls of frustration piercing the night air. Our hearts pounded in our chests as we reached the top, trapped in a metallic cage swinging ominously in the still night air. Below, the horrifying inhabitants gathered, a swirling mass of desperation, shaking the structure violently, their faces twisted in rage. As we clung to each other in the small cabin, the reality of our predicament washed over us. We were trapped, the ground a swirling mass of enraged inhabitants seeking our flesh, the sky an unreachable haven of safety. Tears streamed down Lisa's face, her laughter a distant memory in the face of raw fear. Hours seemed to drag on as we clung to each other, our bodies aching, our spirits breaking under the relentless assault from below. We could hear them, the sounds of metal bending, breaking, the Ferris wheel slowly giving way to the frenzied assault. And then, in a desperate act of courage, Jake formulated a plan, a risky gambit to climb down the opposite side while Peter and I created a diversion. With hearts pounding in our chests, we followed the desperate plan, throwing debris and shouting loudly, drawing the enraged crowd to our side. Jake and Lisa descended with agonizing slowness, their bodies pressed tightly against the metal frame as they climbed down. My heart was in my throat as I watched them, praying for their safe descent, the seconds stretching into an eternity of fear. It was then, with a deafening roar of metal giving way, the Ferris wheel collapsed, sending us plummeting into the waiting arms of the frenzied crowd. I remember feeling a crushing weight, a world of pain, and then nothingness. I awoke and found myself buried under the wreckage, my body a canvas of pain, yet alive. With tears streaming down my face, I stumbled across the broken landscape, the park a silent witness to the night of horror. There, amongst the debris, I found Peter, his body broken, yet a faint breath of life lingering in him. I held him, tears streaming down our faces as we embraced, survivors in a night of terror. But Jake and Lisa were nowhere to be found, swallowed by the park's dark maw. As I laid in the hospital bed, Peter beside me in another room, fighting for his life, my mind kept drifting to Jake and Lisa. Had they survived? Were they out there, lost in the maze of the park? Had they become part of its dark tale, a cautionary tale of curiosity's dark price?